Most women quit their body recomposition journey right at the moment that it actually starts working. And it's not because they're not progressing, it's simply because they don't understand the signs of progress that their body is trying to show them. And that, my friends, is going to end today, because in today's video, I'm going to show you the 7 body recomposition truths that every woman needs to understand, especially if they're trying to change the way they look, their physique, improve their confidence, and increase their strength, especially when it comes to the gym. Because once you simply understand this, you're going to stop guessing if all the efforts that you're putting in the gym, eating properly, is actually going to waste, or if you're actually making signs of progress. And if you're serious about that, stay with me till the end of this video, because I'm going to shift the way you think about eating, training, and even the way you measure your progress from this point forward. All right, so let's get into the video. Truth number 1, the scale should never be your only measure of progress. Body recomposition simply means losing fat while gaining muscle at the same time. And the scale is not necessarily, or I should say the number on the scale is not necessarily the best way to measure this, because that number on the scale only measures the total weight, not necessarily what that weight is comprised of. So when fat goes down on the scale, yeah, the number will drop a little bit. But also when your muscle goes up, that scale number might increase too. So the scale ends up averaging everything together and essentially masking that progress that you've been building. But what actually changes during body recomposition is that smaller waist, that tighter frame, more definition in your arms, your glutes, even your shoulders. And often that doesn't show up in drastic changes on the scale. Now, what I can say is when I actually started my body recomposition journey, I barely noticed the number on the scale, but I noticed drastic differences in the way my actual body looked. And that was only because I was taking or tracking my photos. But if I literally just paid attention to that number, I would have been sorely disappointed at the results that I was not seeing. Now, we're conditioned to believe that if the scale is not drastically plummeting on our journey as fast as possible, we're just simply not doing anything right. But with body recomposition, we're genuinely trying to see changes in our physique and especially our strength gains. And that's why so many women make the mistake thinking that they're stuck even though they're genuinely seeing progress. Listen, for me, it took me months just to see visible abs. So I also want to bring to your attention that the scale doesn't necessarily measure the new muscle growth that you're actually attaining. It doesn't take into account the shifts in our fat distribution as well, or even the overall firmness or tightness of our body that we're actually experiencing. So if you're often obsessing over the number on the scale, what could typically happen is self-sabotage. So even for me, I would obsess over the number on the scale because I thought it was not moving nearly as fast as it should. And what ended up happening was I started to make drastic changes by slashing my calories even lower. And then on top of that, I would increase my cardio thinking that I was not doing enough, to the point where I wasn't even considering recovery. And this ultimately backfired on my journey. Those choices don't speed up your results. They lead to burnout and injury, and ultimately slow down the progress that you were trying to speed up in the first place. What I simply had to learn was not using the scale as the only measure of progress. I started doing monthly progress photos, and in addition to that, also tracking my body measurements. I also actually started tracking my strength gains over time. That's something that I never used to consider. These are just a few ways that will help you get a better overall understanding if you are actually progressing in your body recomposition journey. Truth number 2, body recomposition is going to take a little bit longer than you anticipate. Now, this process is simply slower because you're losing fat and building muscle at the same time. So your results are not going to show up overnight. And if you want to get a better understanding of body recomposition timelines, I did make a video about this, so go ahead and click this video right here, or I'll link it in the description. What this means is you need to commit to this journey, which could take a week, months, or even a year. But we still commit to actually seeing these results. We stick to a program long enough to actually see our body adapt. It's because our consistency is always going to outperform our perfection on every given day. Truth number 3, you need more fuel, especially protein. The problem that I used to encounter was under eating, because I thought that I simply had to drastically slash my calories in order to see results. And it didn't even occur to me that I was feeling super weak during my workouts. I was losing muscle, not gaining muscle. I had extremely poor recovery and I was constantly starving. And I never had that defined look. So, what happens to your body when you chronically undereat is your body gets into that energy saving mode. And what that means is your body stops building that muscle. It's slowing down your progress, slowing down your recovery, even increasing those cravings that you've been having. It honestly makes every training session so much more difficult to even get through. And of course, you need to be mindful that you're not obviously on the other end of the spectrum where you are over consuming the amount of calories that your body genuinely needs for recovery, for strength gains, and for all of the body recomposition needs that your body needs. So, to ensure that your body has enough fuel for body recomp, your calories should be slightly under maintenance. And your protein intake should at least be between zero point 0.7 and 1 gram per pound of your goal body weight. Now, remember, carbs are your training fuel, so you're not cutting those or slashing them because you need them for enough energy to get through your actual workouts. And of course, we're not cutting or completely slashing our fats because we need it for recovery and our hormones as well, especially as women. So when you're actually fueling your body properly, you can actually get through the workouts without feeling drained. Your recovery gets so much better and your fatigue decreases by a lot. And then that's when you're actually going to start seeing those changes in your physique. So some simple action steps that you can take today to ensure that you're reaching your body recomposition goals is simply to ensure that you're getting enough protein over the course of the day, making sure that you're fueling your body with enough carbs to get through every workout that you have planned, and ensuring that your body is slightly below your maintenance calories. Now, I want you to aim for at least 80% consistency of this routine, and you will see results. Truth number 4, progressive overload is a non-negotiable. Your weights are not increasing, or the number of sets or even reps are not changing, or you're not making any adjustments to your programming, it's going to be very difficult for your body to see any drastic changes that you're looking for. Every week that you're able to perform the movements properly, you should be at least adjusting the weight, adding a rep or two, or strategically increasing your sets. These tiny weekly improvements are going to help you see drastic changes in your body recomposition. But what I do want to mention is you should be tracking this and not trying to remember what you did last week, because it's going to be very difficult for you to remember every single exercise that you did and how much you lifted. Truth number 5, cardio is going to help your body recomposition if done correctly. Now, we all know cardio is great for fat loss. It also helps support your recovery as you're lifting weights. And of course, it's going to help build better endurance, especially for those lifting sessions that you are doing over the course of the week. But when cardio becomes a problem is when it's way too intense, way too frequent, or even combined with extremely low calories, because that combination is simply going to pull a lot of your energy away from those strength training sessions and even take away from the muscle growth that you're actually trying to build. Now, the goal of your cardio sessions is to have a moderate intensity, moderate speed. Because remember, cardio should be supporting your training, not completely taking over it. Truth number 6, your hormones affect your performance, but not your progress. So, of course, as women, we have cycles and we experience these cyclical fluctuations over the course of the month. For some of us, it will affect the number on the scale. And for some of us, it will even affect our performance over the course of the month. Some weeks we might feel more energetic. Some weeks we might have low energy. But is this ultimately going to affect your body recomposition progress in the long haul? No. Unless you have, of course, a medical condition, which you should speak to your doctor to. But that doesn't mean also that you should completely slash your calories because you're seeing these fluctuations over the course of the month due to your period. Remember, body recomposition is not a linear process. Truth number 7, body recomposition works incredibly well for beginners, people who are returning back to the gym, people with a high percentage of body fat. Now, with beginners, they might see the fastest changes because they experience that rapid nervous system adaptation and can typically respond to most structured programs. For the women who are returning back to the gym, women coming back from lifting can definitely benefit from the muscle memory that they have. So your strength can often rebound pretty quickly. Now, for women with higher body fat, These women can definitely benefit from this and have better results because they have that built-in energy reserve that is going to allow them to burn that fat and build that muscle simultaneously. Now, for intermediate lifters, those with like 6 months to 3 years of training, your body might slowly adapt and require slightly more precision. Now, in terms of advanced lifters, body recomposition might be slightly challenging. Why? Because they're hitting closer to their genetic ceiling. So the progress might happen a little slower. Now, women in their 40s, 50s, and even 60s can absolutely body recomp because it's going to help with age-related muscle loss. Higher protein and better recovery becomes essential, especially as we age. Fat loss might be a little bit slower, but you're definitely going to see that drastic change that you're looking for. Now, the real reason women fail is not their genetics, it's not their age. It's simply because they're either overeating or severely undereating. They probably have poor training structure, they're not being consistent, they have a lack of progressive overload, and they're not giving the program enough time to actually show results. So starting off with lifting at least 3 times per week, tracking your strength progress, following at least one program throughout to actually ensure that you're seeing the adaptations that you're looking for, and committing to the program is how you're going to see results. So for the first 4 to 8 weeks, I want you to follow this simple plan. Eat slightly below your maintenance calories. Hit your protein of 0.7 to 1 gram per pound of your goal body weight. I want you to get in your 8 to 10K steps at least per day, and lift a minimum of 3 times per week. As you're doing this, I want you to ensure that you're actually finding a way to track this progress because that's the only way you're going to see real results. Alright, so if this video resonated with you and you are still having a difficult time reaching your goals and you want a structured path that's going to guide you through the entire body recomposition process, I'm in the midst of releasing a 6-week body recomposition program to help you get started on your body recomposition journey. And this is going to be for women who want actual results without starving or overtraining. It's not live yet, but if you want access, go ahead and hit that like button. Don't forget to turn on your post notifications and subscribe for more content like this. In the next video, I'm going to be talking about macros, so stay tuned for that. And I'll see you in the next video.